Just before continue, I don't know if you
Mhm.
mentioned what's the dating of the Shapiro scrolls?
So the people who declared it a forgery declared it to be contemporary in their time. So not older than a couple of hundred years or 100 years at most. The ones who declared it a authentic, they date it to around 800, 900 BCE.
800
Would be
900
oh
BCE.
yes,
You see,
Wow.
this makes this a transmission between pre-exilic text and post-exilic text. This is the link between those two.
yep, or at least paleographically contemporarily to the Mesha Stela, which is that Moabite slab that's dated to around 800, like the time of David. So
Wow.
800
It's
or
going
yeah,
way, way back.
way back like haystacks. Okay.
Way back, yeah.
Uh, it requires a very keen eye and a very detailed perspective on the distribution of wear and climate and just code ecology in general. But it suffices you to know that this was a contentious issue even among people who looked at the Shapiro scrolls specifically. Okay, but all the other reasons, they have now been debunked completely. They've been debunked utterly and completely. There is no reason to suspect that these fragments were forgeries. And so, what is the difference between the current Shapiro scroll and a modern day text of Deuteronomy? So, one, shout out to Dog Logic and everyone who recycles the claim, but why Muhammad ain't called God Yahweh though? Why Muhammad ain't called Yahweh though? That stuff. There is not a single use of the Tetragrammaton anywhere in this scroll, which would have again been unthinkable for a scribe to remove it.
I need you to repeat that. Beyond.
So there is not a single usage of the Tetragrammaton, the
Which is what?
Yod He Vod He, or Yod He Vav He, in the Shapiro scroll. There are two
Not once.
places, two that are not in the main body of the text. These are editorial comments that begin the scroll. But the actual scroll, when it starts with Moses' perspective and his speech, there's nothing. Instead, it supplements it with Elohim Eloheinu, God our God. Right? No Adonai, nothing. God our God. Elohim Elohim. And this actually matches.
Wesam,
Mhm.
why is it important that you mentioned no Adonai but Elohim? Why is that important? Could you explain?
Right, because Adonai would have, if there was Adonai there, then you can cope and say, well, they did not want to say the divine name, so they used the substitute. But Elohim is not the substitute for the Tetragrammaton. It is an actual name of God, and it literally means God in the pluralistic, majestic sense. Okay, so they can't say, well, that this long used, tired, unscholarly, unacademic, very bottom level, low IQ argument that why Jesus didn't say the Tetragrammaton is because it was so sacred, so he used Kyrios instead, even though Jews contemporary to his time had no problem writing it down. Aquila, who we just mentioned, actually transliterated it, wrote the Tetragrammaton in his Greek manuscripts. Clement of Alexandria does it, Origen does it, the Qumran community does it, etc., etc. So that's a major stark difference, is that this form of this recension of the book of Deuteronomy does not have the Tetragrammaton. It only exists in the beginning and the end, which are editorial comments, not part of the actual divine, or not the actual revelation or the instructions given to Moses alayhi salam. That's the first and major stark difference.